podcast is on the Western Conference reserves for the All-Star game in February in Utah. And if you watch, obviously, our starters, we've probably already touched on some names here that must be in the All-Star game. It's a no-brainer, I think. And so let's really jump into our backcourt here as the reserves in the West. Lillard, Damian Lillard, great to see him back. I don't know, did you miss him a little bit last year, Nick? It was Portland could have made some noise, maybe. I don't know. And I think it's nice to really see them come back now and Lillard come back and they're in contention there. And neither of us picked them in the top 6 of the West either. So hey, look, credit to Lillard coming back and leading that sort of new Blazer squad that's been sort of remade around the McCollum trade. And I think he should be an All-Star obviously. Second pick here is Devin Booker. 3 days ago, Suns would have the best record in the West. I know they slid down the standings a bit now, but Booker has really kept the Suns alive when CP3 was out, and now, well, I guess now you're hoping CP3 will keep them afloat, right? Is that what we're hoping for? While Booker's obviously navigating his groin injuries and stuff like that, so we'll see that. I guess what happens in the next few weeks. Third spot here in the West, we've got Steph Curry. Could easily put him as first spot there. Let's be clear. Steph Curry having a great season. Where the Warriors goes while he's out for the next, how many weeks? 2 or 3 weeks, I think they started projecting. I don't know. They might be totally out of contention at that point. And Steph Curry, they're really missing him, I think, at this point. Fourth guard spot here, actually, fourth guard spot. Let's go with that. Is and I think you'll have this kid on the list too. SGA. He's got to make the All-Star game. I think it's a no-brainer, right? SGA is an All-Star this year. His numbers have jumped up to that superstar territory, and the Thunder are relevant. It's actually, considering how close it is in the West, the Thunder are relevant. So it's sort of really interesting to sort of see them be competitive, especially since they're still missing their first pick or second pick, obviously, that they had in the draft there. The last few spots here, I've got Anthony Davis in the front court here, and Domantas Sabonis in the second front court spot. Both of these players here are teams that really they sort of really anchor the teams there in the role that they play. And I think Sabonis, is injured at the moment, so I don't know. He might slide out of this conversation later, but his numbers and the fact that the Kings are relevant is really important. Now, this is the last one here that's, I don't know which way you're going to go, man. I don't know. I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go with this either. And look, this might be a bit contentious, but remember, we had to pick based upon roster spots too. So we needed 3 front court players. So I've given this last front court spot here to Jaren Jackson Jr. There was another big here that had to be picked in the West, and Memphis are obviously peaking. And they're legitimate contenders this year. And Jaren Jackson, I think, is an X factor for them, similar to Evan Mobley with the Cavs. Okay, yeah, they've got a deep team: Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Steve Adams. They're all core players that make this great Grizzlies team that has really shot up these rankings. And I didn't actually pick them in the West, and that was a terrible pick. And I think as long as Ja stays healthy, they're going to be up there. But I'm giving Jay the last spot here in the West.
All right. Clearly you like ruining perfection because we were 6 out of 7 on that one. I'm going to go through my list and then I'm going to heavily blast that last choice because that's the one that clearly should not have been picked. We're going to go with the guards. I'm going Devin Booker and SGA. Really, I'm just flipping guards here. The reason why Steph Curry's falling into that wild card spot is it's the injuries. Right. It's the fact that he is going to be out for an extended period of time, already missed a bit, and the record hurts him a little bit. Here's the caveat, though. He's probably a starter based on fan votes, so none of this really matters anyway. He will be in the game irrelevant of where he is. You know what? When the voting comes out, I reckon we're going to be seeing pretty consistent
It's going to be very close, right? We're calling Ja, Luka,
those 3. Those 3 will be fan very votes, close.
And then how do the media and the coaches vote them based upon their record? This is where we covered that Luka could easily slide out of that starting spot.
Yes, Devin Booker probably would be the slide in to the Luka spot, but then there's that narrative around, well, Luka's the only one on the Dallas Mavericks that's doing anything, and he's statistically having the best year again. So there's those elements. Lillard is my other wild card. Just the guards are loaded, right? You know, we're ignoring the fact that De'Aaron Fox probably deserves some mention as well, but it's just not getting in with this guard pool. So then we get to the forwards. Anthony Davis are obviously going to have an extended absence, but his surge and obviously having, you know, above average scoring and rebounding was the reason why the Lakers were good. And we've known this the whole time, but the reality is if he can pull it together and stay on the court, the Lakers actually have a chance. And unfortunately, that injury prone bug, that's not going to go away. Doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve an all-star forward spot, especially since it seems like it's slim pickings anyway. Domantas Sabonis were in the same alignment. Sacramento is relevant, and someone has to get credit for that. And if De'Aaron Fox can't get it for the guard spot, then he should get it for the forward. And then it comes down to this. So I'm going to re-highlight your pick. Jaren Jackson Jr., as of now, has played 15 games. That is already, like, that is, he needs to play every single game moving forward, right?
Sure.
The other issue that Jaren Jackson has is he doesn't like playing more than about 25 minutes a game, and mainly because he can't stop hitting people. So he averages essentially 30 fouls. He fouls out pretty consistently. He's averaging 16 and 6. I personally don't see it over my forward selection, which is Lauri Markkanen. The Utah Jazz has fallen off, but they had a narrative to begin with. He has played every game up until this point. He is averaging 22 and 8, which is above on his career percentages. And he's actually shooting 8% better from the field, 7% better from 3. And clearly the scouting has come out now on Utah. We need to slow him down, and he is still maintaining the success. That is deserving of an all-star spot, especially over someone who's played 15 games, that doesn't play more than a half, really, and is clearly a beneficiary of a much better player carrying that team.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with the facts and the statistics that you've obviously spelled out here. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is was a maybe an unlikely pick, and is probably, I'll be honest, you're probably going to be an unlikely all-star. That last spot could go to a number of players. You know, but
give me another name. Give me another name. Give me another name on the forward list that, you know, Jaren Jackson Jr. has edged out in your mind. It's okay to admit that you missed Lauri Markkanen. I've done it in the past as well.
No, Lauri Markkanen is on my list. How about Gobert?
The Timberwolves are atrocious since that trade. It doesn't work narrative-wise. He's averaging the same, but he's just not. He's not helping.
So that's a catch there. That there's. Are we saying, you know, players do put up similar years and you know, similar stats over similar years, and they do get recognized for that. There is that reality. That's the same take in regards to Tyler Hero. That why he probably won't, and I don't think he will make this year's All-Star game, because the conversation for him is not there.
It's fine. Tyler Hero is still a much more defendable pick than Jaren Jackson Jr.
So
at this point.
Here's my pick just to appease you. Let's bet against AD making actually playing the All-Star game, because he's probably going to be injured again. And the commissioner, I believe, Adam Silver, comes in now and has to pick someone. And he's a smart man, right? He looks at the stats and he goes, the All-Star games in Utah. And he goes, hey, Lauri Markkanen, I think you need a call up here. You've had a pretty good year. Even though your Jazz are probably below 500 by the time February rolls around, okay, I think we'll give you a call up here. At least the Jazz can have something to be happy about. And guess what? It makes Nick happy too. So we're all happy there, right?
Yo, this is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.